Please take your seats. The program will begin in 10 minutes. Please take your seat. The program will begin in 5 minutes. Please take your seat. The program will start.
Hi, I'm Nathan Ewers, Regional Vice President at FNBO, and we are proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Boulder Chamber's 2021 Celebration of Leadership. At FNBO, we believe in celebrating people and businesses making a positive impact in our community, like tonight's honorees. For more than 160 years as a family-owned bank, we have a long history of helping shape our communities and laying the foundation for business success. We can do what a small bank can't and what a big bank won't. Tonight, we are thrilled to highlight innovation and collaboration that promotes strong economic growth and social progress in the Boulder region. And now, welcome to the show.
Hello folks, I'm Misto the Magi, and I am so happy to be here for the celebration of leadership. I thought I'd do something special for you. Since we live out west, out here in Colorado, I'd like to share with you a little rope magic. Now you may ask yourselves, why is he doing this? Go ahead and say, why are you doing that? Well, it's because I am hypnotizing each and every one of you right now. Now that I have you under my spell, it makes the magic easy to do. Watch, we'll take the two ends of the rope and we'll tie them together thusly, creating the magic circle of rope. Once we have the magic circle, the magic becomes easy and the knot becomes no longer necessary. I know, it's pretty strange. So we'll take the knot and we'll place it back on the rope. Of course, you have to be very, very careful not to cross your arms, because that undoes the magic. And we have to start all over again. You know, a lot of people ask me, they say, hey, Misto, can you do that miracle again? See, I told you a lot of people ask me that. So we'll do it again. By taking the two ends of the rope, we'll tie them together like this, creating the magic circle of rope. Once we have the magic circle, I take out my magic scissors. You see the magic scissors? We give the rope a cut, giving us two pieces of rope. That's two ends on each rope. You see, I have one, I have two, we have three, we have four. Of course, you have to be very, very careful not to cross your arms, because that undoes the magic. And we have to start all over again. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking that this is a magic rope. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's not a magic rope, because inside this pocket is the magic rope. And you guys get to all help me out with the magic rope. Here's what we're going to do. I am going to run my hand down the rope like this, and all I want you to do is say stop anywhere along the rope. Are you ready? Here we go. Right there. You said stop. We criss, we cross, we pop, making a little piece of rope, a medium piece of rope, and one very long, very long, very long piece of rope. Now I, Misto the Magi, have 3 pieces of rope, which I'm now going to turn into 3 pieces of rope that are all exactly the same size. But I'm going to need your help, folks. I need each and every one of you to take your fingers and wiggle them towards the ropes like this. Look, if everybody does it, nobody looks stupid. So here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And you see, that makes the magic happen. And we can actually stretch the ropes out. giving us 3 pieces that are all exactly the same size. And now for my last little bit of rope magic, I'm going to do something no other magician's ever done before. I'm going to take the 3 pieces of rope and turn them into one solid piece of rope. Now, I am the only magician in the entire world that does this. So check it out. Abracadabra, alakazam, and there we have it. One solid piece of rope. I can see that you're a little underwhelmed. That's okay, because it does look a whole lot better if we take the knots off first. And you see, some people think that this knot, way down here, some people think that this knot is a what knot, and other people think it's a forget-me knot, but really it's a knot that's not on the rope. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Misto the Magi, and we'll be back for some more magic in a little while.
Please welcome to the stage Boulder Chamber's President and CEO, John Taylor.
Well, that's a tough act to follow. But I will say welcome to a celebration, a recognition of community and business leaders who contribute to our strong economy through their own business success, but also who make Boulder this special place that we all love for work, for living, for play. Yes, tonight is a celebration. Interestingly, though, this is the anniversary of the date when we first recognized that we had a public health crisis on our hands. A public health crisis that would become an economic crisis, and as some recognize, a mental health crisis. We all have suffered a lot since that last evening that we were together for the celebration of leadership and those first very awkward elbow bumps. We did not know then, but that would be our final large gathering for quite some time. So we begin tonight's festivities at a point when I want us all not to forget that we are still living in a time of pandemic that has taken lives, damaged public health, undermined beloved businesses, and shocked our economy. The numbers, they're staggering. 248 individuals died due to COVID symptoms in our community, all of them loved by their families and their friends. Nearly a 9% drop in total City of Boulder sales tax. Why is that important? That represents the suffering of so many businesses, their business owners and their workforce. And a 5.1% increase in our unemployment rate, representing individuals and families who worry about their long-term financial security. And for far too many statistics, they speak to the inequity of the impacts of COVID-19 on our BIPOC community. All of us can relate to these numbers, whether or not we were personally struck by COVID or suffered financial hardship. We all know someone who suffered health consequences, a business that closed, or a family that is concerned about paying their bills. So as we prepare to celebrate tonight, I ask you first to pause for a minute of reflection on all that has transpired over the past year and to pay homage to those who have suffered. So please, if we can all just take a moment of reflection. So I can tell you that when I wrote those words, this morning, as I tend to write my speeches, got very verklempt. It's a lot to reflect on. But now we celebrate. Let's celebrate because we can all use some joy in our lives. That's what helps us sustain. Let's celebrate because those who we honor this evening represent the very best values of leadership and resilience in difficult times. Let's celebrate because it gives us such great pleasure to gather together, to see one another, to connect, to know that there are friends out there in computer TV land with us. We need each other. And damn it, we need to celebrate all we've been through together and all that we are doing to get through this very difficult time. So here we are, and let's get going. You know, the celebration of leadership is also the Boulder Chamber's annual membership meeting, and it's a tradition that is somewhat unique in the chamber universe. So many chambers will celebrate and honor distinguished business leaders in their community for their excellent success. But the celebration of leadership is very different. The Boulder Chamber wants to, through its celebration of leadership, recognize those business and community leaders who exemplify the character that's unique to our community and distinct to the business environment that we have the pleasure to represent. It is business leaders with values that stand above mere bottom line success, though most of them have achieved that. It is business leaders who are supportive of broader community values and goals. That is both economic achievement balanced with environmental stewardship and social equity. But there's a special theme to tonight's celebration of leadership. It is innovation and collaboration. Every one of our award winners had to innovate to overcome challenges to building their organization's success, particularly in this COVID-19 environment. And each of these business leaders exemplify the spirit of collaboration that is the unique characteristic of our Boulder business community, and what I often say is the special sauce of our economic vitality. The 2021 honorees epitomize those values of leadership, both in their personal business success as well as their support for our community. So we recognize that there's still much left to accomplish to begin to move beyond the pandemic response to achieve our goals of a strong and inclusive economic recovery. But what gives me hope and inspiration for the success in our efforts are the very individuals that we will honor this evening. So I invite you to join with me in what I know is going to be a wonderful evening of celebration, a magical evening, if you will, and to join us in recognizing some very special business and community leaders. But before we do, we have some business to attend to, and that is to recognize the sponsors who help to make these events happen. They are the businesses and the individuals behind those businesses that understand the importance of these kinds of events to building a strong business community, and support the activities of the Boulder Chamber that help us to support and strengthen our economy. They also are businesses that recognize that they want to invest in a chamber that builds community through business. So I'm going to recognize all of these sponsors, and I want you to, as you hear their names, whether here in this room or out there in computer TV land, that these are the folks that I want to support because they support our business success, they support our community. So very first, our presenting sponsor, you already saw him on the TV screen, the Market Colorado president, but FNBO, thank you FNBO, thank you Nate, thank you Sarah, thank you Gretchen, very much. And then we have our gold sponsor, Elevations Credit Union. And I know Dennis is out there. Thank you, Dennis. And then we have our silver sponsors, Berg Hill, Greenleaf, and Rushidi, Blue Federal Credit Union, Celestial Seasonings, Rule 4, CU Boulder, and WW Reynolds Companies. Thank them all. And then, you know, nothing happens in this town without our newspaper paying attention, but we also need their support to get the word out about these activities and the programs that the Chamber sponsors. And so we have two great media sponsors I want to recognize, BizWest and the Daily Camera. Thank you. And then last but not least, our bronze sponsor, Boulder County Farmers Market. Thank you. And then I have one last recognition that I like to do during our annual meeting. That is to give thanks and appreciation, and to, you know, a special request that you guys all give them special appreciation. And that is to my bosses, the Boulder Chamber Board of Directors. So we have, I believe, I see at least one of them out in the audience. I'm sure I see a couple of them out in the audience. Raise your hands. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Patrick. Thanks for being here. I know many others are out there in the audience, and I just want to recognize them, all humor aside. You know, the Boulder Chamber staff team worked very hard this year, very hard, to help address and respond to the challenges our businesses face. But all through it, our board stuck with us. They helped to support us when we brought to them challenging issues and questions of policy and of organizational sustainability. And they helped us to figure out difficult, challenging issues. So they worked very, very hard, aside from their own, dealing with their own business needs and issues. So I thank them so much, the Boulder Chamber Board of Directors. So now it gives me great pleasure to bring to the audience a couple of great friends of mine, the Chamber, Scott Furley, our Member Relations Director, and I believe also Scott Sternberg, our BEC Executive Director and Associate Vice President for Economic Vitality. Welcome them to the stage.
I'll be the one that comes down here, Scott.
Two 6'3" Scots on the stage right now.
The Boulder Chamber works hard to bring a community together through a shared voice, common goals, and the drive to move forward. This community is our foundation, and we need leaders like you to stand strong with us, now more than ever. We would like to recognize those companies that stand strong with the Boulder Chamber and are vital to the success of our programs, including membership, advocacy, and academic vitality. I would like to begin by recognizing on this slide those companies at the Chautauqua level which represent companies that are either elite partner, members, or BEC investors. Please join me in thanking these companies. We would now like to recognize the Sanitas Standing Strong levels. Those companies that stand strong with the Boulder Chamber at the Sanitas level are either president partner members or companies that are elite partner members and BEC investors. So thank you to Altman Consulting, Ball Aerospace, Berg Hill, Greenleaf and Rashidi, Biz West, BOK Financial, Boulder Community Health, Celestial Seasonings, Cigna, Contras Bay Company, Daily Camera, FNBO, Google, IBM, Intandem HR, KBI Biopharma, MidFirst Bank, Premier Members Credit Union, Twitter, US Bank, and Warner Pacific Insurance Services.
Our Flagstaff level companies support our economic vitality, our advocacy, and member service programming at the highest level. As president partners, as BEC or Boulder Economic Council investors, or Strategy Council Boulder Together investors. We would like to recognize both the companies and the individuals engaged with us in our community work. First, we would like to recognize Blue Federal Credit Union and Ashley Garcia, Business Development Specialist at the Denver Metro Region. Boulder Medical Center, Patrick Menzies, Chief Executive Officer. Corden Pharma, Colorado, Deborah Capra, Director of Human Resources, Environmental Health and Safety, and Business Services. Elevations Credit Union, Dennis Paul, Vice President of Community Affairs. Plant Moran, Jim Cowgill, Boulder Office Managing Partner. Tebow Properties, Stephen Tebow, Founder and Chief Executive Officer. Terrapin Care Station, Chris Woods, Founder, CEO, and President. The WW Reynolds Companies, Jeffrey Wingert, Partner. The University of Colorado, Boulder, Francis Draper, Senior Strategic Advisor, Office of Government and Community Engagement. Excel Energy, Iffy Jennings, Area Manager, Community and Local Government Affairs. And lastly, only due to alphabetical order, the Zayo Group, Danielle Lloyd, Executive Director, Office of the CEO and Brand. Thank you, and please join me once again in thanking all of those companies and individuals that give their life and energy to the Boulder Chamber in our effort to build a strong community.
Now to talk about the Boulder Chamber's journey in the realm of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and to make a very special announcement, please welcome to the stage Karen Cruz, Vice President and COO at the Boulder Chamber.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I've got to get positioned. The Boulder Chamber has been on a journey. This journey is rooted in the 120 years of our organization's history. We recognize that there are periods throughout that history when our community, and most assuredly our organization and the leaders associated with it, did not live up to the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion that make Boulder a welcome place to live and work for all of our residents. The Boulder Chamber also recognizes the pivotal role that it can and it must play in turning the corner on this legacy. This is why we've committed ourselves to a journey toward racial equity and social justice for our membership, for our local businesses, and within the community that we serve. The journey began with extensive dialogue between our organization's leadership, members of our local BIPOC community, and other leaders in the DEI space, and many of them are here today, so we really appreciate all the partnership. We talked to them about steps that the Boulder Chamber should take to address past indiscretions and to set a better path forward. There has been a great deal of learning through this dialogue and outreach. While all that learning and input is valuable, and we will continue in our outreach throughout our journey, the Boulder Chamber also is committed to actions that will help our organization and the Boulder business community advance toward greater diversity, equity, and inclusion. Along these lines, one initiative I'm really excited to highlight tonight is a partnership with Equity Solutions in the Boulder Chamber's new Equity Amplification Program. At its core, the Equity Amplification Program is a steeply discounted membership in the Boulder Chamber for Boulder's Black-owned and Black-led businesses. Brad Feld and Amy Batchelor and the organization Anchor Point Foundation also committed to fund the remaining cost for the first year Boulder Chamber membership for all 62 businesses currently featured on the Boulder County Black-owned business list. The hope we all have for this program is that the Black-owned business leaders will benefit from the support of their fellow Boulder residents. Just as importantly, we look for them to contribute their perspectives as active, long-term participants in strengthening Boulder's business community. For those at home, our team will include the link to this list in the chat box. Thank you to Anchor Point Foundation and Equity Solutions for partnering with us in this important initiative for our community. Thanks, Aaron. Tonight, at this celebration of leadership, the Boulder Chamber also reiterates its pledge to continue our advocacy efforts for diverse representation at all levels of the private, public, and nonprofit sectors. This includes fostering leadership roles for our BIPOC business owners and workforce members, and seeking to provide a balance of perspective on local boards, committees, and governing institutions. Consistent with these efforts, our Leadership Fellows program, produced in partnership with the Community Foundation Boulder County, aims to advance inclusive leadership development initiatives across our community with partners throughout Boulder County. There clearly is more we can do, and we will. We reiterate our commitment to continue working to build a strong community by supporting local for-profit and nonprofit businesses, advocating for a strong business environment, and sustaining economic vitality for all. It's a journey, and we welcome the entire Boulder Chamber membership family and our community partners to join us along the way. To conclude, I'll leave you with a short video from our Leadership Fellows class of 2020. Thank you.
Felicidades, Leadership Fellows. Congratulations, our graduation has arrived. Leadership Fellows has meant making connections, learning more about the needs within our community, as well as all the great work going on to make a difference.
It is a great way to meet people who are full of ideas and the energy needed to make positive change.
The Leadership Fellows program surpassed my expectations. Connecting with such inspirational colleagues has confirmed my internal drive for justice and given me the confidence to make positive changes in my community. I now feel obligated in the best way to turn this desire for change into action.
This was really the best opportunity to establish some roots, meet some new people. It allowed me to connect with a bunch of people in the area, some of them native, some of them just moved here, and that was the coolest thing.
I will say the most meaningful experience this year has been learning about so many initiatives and learning a lot about local government organizations and what kind of engagement and opportunities are out there, and establish those relationships with people who share the same value system.
It gave me the opportunity to be a part of discussions that I really care about, such as the City Boulder Racial Equity Planning Feedback Session that a lot of us were on yesterday.
It was a way to commit to learning about issues outside of my experience and in an environment that felt safe to be challenged. I look forward to these monthly meetups that felt so far outside of my safe and ordinary life, but so essential at the same time.
The opportunity to participate in what I call kind of action learning about a wide net of topics, relevant and important, with a cohort of bright really good-hearted people from very diverse opinion pool. And that's a really good thing. It will expand your mind. It will question your assumptions, which I think is always a really healthy exercise. And it will be a real tremendous catalyst, I think, for deep connections with people who walk in very different sandals than your own.
At this time, we would like to welcome to the stage the presenting sponsor for tonight's event, FNBO. Representing FNBO is Nathan Ewert, Regional Vice President for Colorado and Western Nebraska.
Make sure I've got this straight here. Well, good evening, and thank you for joining us to recognize and celebrate an impressive list of individuals and businesses here in the Boulder area. I'm very honored to once again represent FNBO, the presenting sponsor of tonight's event. The Celebration of Leadership is an event that helps tell the Boulder story, a story of businesses across industries and community partners coming together to create a space to work and live. Tonight, we will just get a glimpse of what makes Boulder businesses so special and so critical in the role that they play in building a strong local economy. Our team, many of whom are here tonight, are thrilled about this event because we too are passionate about supporting local innovative leadership, as we know that drives strong economic growth and social progress in the region. FNBO's commitment to the communities we serve is strategically centered around 4 key areas. First, increasing access to affordable housing and revitalizing neighborhoods. Number 2, helping businesses get started to grow and thrive. 3, helping individuals gain employment status, advance their careers, and improve their financial well-being. And finally, creating access to the arts, culture, and athletics. I'd like to share something I'm pretty proud of, a few kind of key facts with how FNBO has made an impact locally over the past year during what has been, certainly the most challenging and the unique year that we've all experienced. In Colorado, FNBO has delivered nearly 3,000 PPP loans totaling almost $300 million. Yep. Extremely proud of that, and the fact that the Boulder team here helped contribute to that. And ultimately, if you think about how that impacts jobs and saves jobs, that translates to almost 30,000 jobs in Colorado. FNBO has also invested $10 million into our Colorado communities in the form of donations, sponsorships, community development grants, and impact investments. So as you can see from our signage, I know we're well represented here tonight, so I appreciate that. FNBO's motto is the great big small bank. We are large enough to provide the expertise and resources necessary to handle all your financial needs, yet small enough to still know you personally. With 96 locations across our 7-state footprint, 23 branches right here in northern Colorado, our team, as I've said, is extremely passionate about cultivating shared, long-term, local relationships with the goal of helping our customers and our communities. So, on behalf of FNBO, congratulations to this year's honorees, and thank you so much for the outstanding leadership that you provide in our communities. Thank you very much.
Hello, folks. Misto the Magi back. I'd like to show you something with just a little bit of money. Maybe even a little bit more money. What's that right there? Oh, yeah. One more. A lot of people ask me. They say, hey, Misto, do those guys on TV, do they use trick photography when they do their magic? Well, I don't know if they use trick photography. But I use trick photography, and this is a little trick photography magic to make the coins jump from here to here, from here to here. And you never know when that magic moment is gonna happen, but boy, when it does, it's really cool. And that was pretty fast. We also have 2 coins here and 1 coin here, and magicians use their sleeves a lot. And if I just rub them like this, you can see the coins jump here, here. Now I know that happened kind of quick, so this time we'll do it in slow motion. Watch carefully. Thank you very much. Thank you. No. Now, I know I can't do it in fast motion. I mean in slow motion. But I can absolutely do it in fast motion, and here we go. 1, 2, poof. There we have it. 3 coins. Promise. Thank you. Well, now we have to put them all back. So we'll take the first coin and we'll put it right here where we found it. The second coin we'll put right here in this hand. Just a little wave of this guy. He vanishes too. And that leaves us just 1 more. We'll put right there. Thank you very much, folks. Misto the Magi. We'll see you again soon.
Everybody give it up for Misto. Now the moment everyone has been waiting for, the awards ceremony. To present the first award of the evening, Innovative Business of the Year, we have a very special guest, Governor Jared Polis.
I'm Governor Jared Polis, and I'm excited to be here at the Boulder Chamber Celebration of Leadership to speak with so many inspiring business leaders from across Boulder County. And also, I'm personally proud to introduce 2 amazing innovators in the tech industry. My good friends, David Brown and David Cohen, have been leading the way to help entrepreneurs succeed for years. And because of that effort that really helped put Boulder on the map for a startup ecosystem, I'm thrilled to honor them tonight on their big night. You know, back in 2005, when David, Brad, and myself and David launched Techstars, we set out on a mission to provide opportunities and resources for entrepreneurs with ideas to reach their full potential, raise capital, and transform the marketplace. I can't believe it's 16 years later, but the success of these ideas is measured not just by the ability to start our own businesses, but the ability to improve the lives of others, disrupt entire economic systems to make them more efficient and better with the use of technology. I'm so proud of the work that David and David have done to make that happen. You know, with the innovative spirit they brought, the problem solving, the team building, the pioneering approach to success and growth, now international, they are so deserving of this honor from our very own Boulder County. So with that being said, it is my honor and my privilege to introduce you to the Innovators of the Year, David Brown and David Cohen.
John, you didn't tell me that you got the governor to introduce. Wow, I don't even know how to get a hold of him. So first of all, I want to express my apologies that my co-founder David Cohen wasn't able to attend. He'd love to be here with you, but unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. He has a really great skill, you know. He's a wonderful magician, and most people don't know that. So I think he might have given Misto a run for his money there a little bit. It's a great honor to have this Innovator Award. You know, we think of Techstars as helping others innovate. We're all about helping entrepreneurs succeed, And so to receive an Innovator Award ourselves is really a really fantastic honor. And we owe it to the Boulder community. We started Techstars in Boulder, as the governor said 16 years ago, as just an idea. And we assembled the community to help. And we invited in friends and contacts to mentor and to invest in startups, trying out a model to see if it would work, to see if we could accelerate their businesses. The word accelerator didn't even exist then. We had to invent it. And that model, thanks to the incredible give first nature of the Boulder community that's been willing to open their doors and their Rolodexes, their contact lists, and their know-how to be able to help other entrepreneurs, that model turned out to be incredibly successful and now has been replicated all around the world, first in Seattle and Boston, and then New York and London and Seoul, South Korea, and Melbourne, Australia, and Bangalore, India, and all around the world. And it's really thanks to the Boulder community for leading the way, showing how to give first, showing how to help others and inspire others to chase after their dreams. So on behalf of David and myself, thank you so much for this wonderful award, and thanks for having us.
To present tonight's Rising Star Award, please welcome to the stage Shakita Yarbrough, Director, Community Engagement and Equity of YWCA Boulder County.
Don't make it hard. Thank you all for having me here today. Thank you for being here. This is awesome. It's like, living on a country road and never see anybody, and I get here and I want to say hi to everybody. You want to tell your life story, like what's been going on with you. I didn't wear heels today because I haven't been wearing heels for over a year, and I could just see myself tripping. So, yeah, thank you all. Thank you. You all look wonderful and beautiful. So I am here to talk about this wonderful person that I know and a really good friend. She's an African-American filmmaker with a media production company. Her name is Katrina Miller. Katrina, yes. Katrina Miller's livelihood was heavily impacted by COVID-19. She decided to turn towards her community during this time. And with a small local grant, she began a documentary about how the pandemic has affected the vulnerable elders in the Boulder County African American community. The film, titled The Silence of Quarantine, contains historic imagery of Boulder along with its portrayal of current stories. Along with that film, Katrina is co-directing a documentary titled This Is Not Who We Are, addressing issues of racial justice and equity in the Boulder community. With the support of local foundations, churches, organizations, and community members just like you, this work in progress is solution-oriented and inspirational, just like her, to me. With her current film work, Katrina truly has gone above and beyond in the community to address the problems we face today. I am so blessed to have met this elegant woman who is so passionate about getting the story right, making sure you feel good, and lifting others up so that our future may be represented. A woman, a mother, a wife, a beautiful friend, a sister, the epitome of leadership, diverse perspectives, and excellence. Tonight, we are honored to recognize Katrina Miller as Boulder Chamber's Rising Star.
Thank you so much for this award. It's such an honor to receive this in this place and time. My business is Blackat Video Productions, and I offer a wide variety of video services, from promotional videos to covering conferences. And for the past 7 years, I have directed concerts and also been a videographer as well at concerts. So when the quarantine hit and the shutdowns happened, I thought that my career was over. But in actuality, I was being granted the space to create projects that were actually from the heart. A month into the shutdowns, I hit the streets with my camera and created ISO Boulder. This short film presented eerily empty views of our city that served as the only window to the outside world for some. The music video, New Me, showed Boulderites pouring out of their homes into the streets in solidarity of Black lives, with stirring yet encouraging lyrics by Pedro Silva. The silence of quarantine not only gave a personal look at the devastating realities that our senior community is living, but with the help of Glenda Robinson, the documentary reveals history that has been invisible in the larger dialogue about Boulder. This Is Not Who We Are is a work in progress, which will reveal truths about the systemic racism and microaggressions that people of color sometimes have to overcome in largely white communities. It is my hope that illuminating these issues will bring us closer to fixing the invisibility, bias, and violence that meet BIPOC communities members daily. I've been working on this project with Barrett Strong and John Tweedy of Landlocked Films, and they are true allies to me. A dominant theme that echoes from the Black community is that we feel invisible, and the work we have done here since the city was established has not been seen or promoted. Well, receiving this award today is a step in the right direction. Representation isn't enough. We need to be exalted as leaders and given those roles. That is why seeing my friend, Shakita Yarborough, as the Director of Community Engagement and Equity is an improvement, and seeing Aaron Clark get recognized this evening is also uplifting. The work of the Boulder NAACP has been crucial in confronting local legislation and policy to ensure equity in our community and beyond. I consider the films I've released in 2020 to be a public service. I envision them to be viewed for years to come when people want to learn more about Boulder during this time. When we view these films today, we can reflect on what our part in these stories was. So, just as it takes a special set of circumstances and components for a shooting star to form, I could not do this work without the support of my family, and I would love for you guys to give my family a round of applause over there. My husband, Les, and my 2 kids, Jareth and Sestoria. They're my foundation and they feed my flame. Thank you for giving me the space, love, and support to go after my dreams. Okay. Along those same lines, I'd actually like to thank my mother's helper and friend, Fabienne, for dealing with my crazy schedule and going above and beyond to make sure that my kids are happy, healthy, and learning when I'm away on shoots. I would also like to thank my This Is Not Who We Are film team, John and Barrett, for all they are doing for this project. Glenda Strong Robinson and Pedro Silva, thank you for your help on our collaborations. It has been an honor to get to know you, both of you, over the past year. Peter Garland from Brave Night Media is an awesome drone photographer, and I want to thank him too. He's also an ally, and he's doing the work, and he doesn't shy away from having those hard conversations with me. I'm almost done.
I want to thank my in-laws, Dwayne and Linda Miller, for helping me get that first camera many years ago. My mother, Bettina Hicks, for giving me life and a passion for life. She's also been a great example for me of what hard work and determination look like and what the results can be. There are many other people that have supported or helped me along the way. I'm going to rattle off some names here. Got to do it. Raven, Kathy Kaiser, Amy Negrini, McKenna, my brothers, Craig and Tyler, my dad, my aunties in Oklahoma, family in California, New York, and Texas. I want to thank the Channel 8 TV crew, the Museum of Boulder, Boulder Unity Church, the crew at E-Town, the crew at Boulder Theater. And I also have to honor my sister in heaven and my grandmothers Clara and Aquila, who I know are my guardian angels through all the work that I do. Lastly, I'd like to thank the Chamber again for this award. It means a lot for my business to be recognized, for amplifying the voices around me through film, in spite of the circumstances of this extraordinary time. I wish you all good health, and thank you again.
To present tonight's Virginia Patterson Business of the Year, please welcome to the stage with Big Red F Restaurant Group, Dave Query, Chief Pot Stirrer, and Dana Query, Creative Cat.
Hi, everybody. Oh, I can take this off now. It is Dave and I's great pleasure to be able to introduce Eric and Jill Skokan. I'm going to be a little bit more on script, and then Dave, per usual, is going to go a little off script. In the midst of COVID-19, Jill and Eric Skokan stepped up with their restaurant Blackat to respond to a new world. During a year that brought unimaginable global and personal adversity, Blackat has continued to be an integral part of our local community and economy. The Blackat and Bramble and Hare restaurants have been pioneering restaurants for local agriculture for years. By connecting local diners with farm fresh food, much of it from Eric and Jill's own farm. During COVID, they worked with their resources and relationships to create an unforgettable fine dining experience like none other, and in the most COVID-safe dining experience and situation one could imagine. Their private greenhouse meal was the escape and fantasy that we all needed during a difficult time, while creating a safe environment to keep their staff employed and their guests happy. And then I'm going to pass it off to Dave.
So I first want to apologize to all the folks at home for the gigantic glare that's probably coming across your screen off my big forehead right now. But at least we didn't have Governor Polis here, and that big dome might have cracked your screen at home, so we're good. I'm kidding. The celebration of leadership as the theme tonight, you couldn't find two people who demonstrate that more in everything they do. Virginia Patterson was an amazing individual, filled with integrity. She set the high water mark for how to operate a business and how to mentor people, and Jill and Eric have done that not only through mentoring and farming and restaurant and chefing and running restaurants, but parenting and being quality humans and teaching that, and the passion with which you do that, and you've done it for so long. So it is our honor to present you for the Virginia Patterson Business of the Year, Eric and Jill Skokan.
I didn't think I was going to lose it until you started speaking. Thank you. Thank you all. So much. Thank you. This year's been a roller coaster, obviously. This is what it looks like at the top of the roller coaster. This is the high point. It's an amazing feeling to be here and to be honored by all of you. We're so grateful to
to be recognized among all of you, our friends, our community, people that we've looked up to. Overwhelming is the easy way for me to say this. This year has been a roller coaster, and there've been some very down parts for our whole family, for our business, for all of our employees, for all the people that we care about. In all of those times, when the times have been really, really bad for Jill and me, each of you individually, collectively, as a community, have reached out to hold on to us. And I cannot thank you enough for keeping us from falling into that dark place. And every time that wave comes, another hand reaches out to grab us and to hold on to us. I can't think about how difficult it would be to go through this year without all of you. This community is amazing. I'm so grateful to be a little part of all of us here. Jill and I have been very focused on our lives this year, obviously, and so getting the call that we won an award for leadership is, just mind-boggling, and it's started both Jill and I thinking about what it is to be, why on earth would we be honored for it? What is it that we did that's deserving? Because it just seems like the things that we do them because they're the right things. It's the thing we need to do at the time. And Dave, hearing everything that you just said, you identified, it's like you read into my soul, and you picked out the things that I really care about. Mentoring being one of those things. Beyond, Boulder's been really difficult, and beyond in our nation, it's been even more difficult and crazy and scary. And a lot of that, a lot of the madness that's happening nationally, the responsibility for that falls on our shoulders, or at least that's how Jill and I view it. We're responsible for creating the world that we want to live in, and if this is the world that we're living in, then we're not doing a good enough job. It's as simple as that. And, while I can't, convince some conspiracy theory believers to not believe that stuff, what I can do is hold close the next generation, the people that work with us, my family, our friends, the people in the community. I can hold those people really, really close. We can have great conversations. I can try my best to be a great mentor towards all of them. And that's my challenge to myself right now, is how can I be the best model, the best creator of the future that I want to see and that I want my kids to inherit. And that's always been something that's driven Jill and me. That's the center, that's the beginning, the foundation brick of the Blackat, and everything that we've done is create a world that's a better place for our kids, so that when we hand it off, that we know that we've done our part to make it a little bit better. But there's more that we can do. And
towards that end, for us, it's where my head is right now, is thinking about mentoring, it's thinking about teaching, it's thinking about enculturing the values that Jill and I find to be just normal, the things that we are inspired by. Simple things, just making the world a little bit better. And so I challenge all of you as well. And I can do that because I get to stand on a soapbox for just a couple minutes. And that challenge is seek out the conversation with the next generation. Find the young, impressionable mind to speak to enculture. And we don't do that by lecturing, we do that by laughing, and we do that by challenging, and we do that by holding them very close, and we do that by modeling the behavior that we want to see. So that's my challenge to myself and hopefully to everyone else in the community. And again, I cannot thank all of you enough for the literally thousands and thousands of hands that have reached out to hold Jill and I. We feel every single one of you every day. Thank you.
To present tonight's Startup of the Year, please welcome Brad Feld, entrepreneur and early investor, co-founder, Foundry Group, and co-founder of Techstars.
Aaron Clark's company, Equity Solutions, is an evolving, multifaceted business aimed at addressing one of the most pressing needs in our community today, equity. I met Aaron last summer. He has been relentless in his pursuit of creating more inclusive and equitable practices within the business community and within the criminal justice system. I've seen Aaron in action with Equity Solutions, Justice Reskill, and Energize Colorado. Simply put, Aaron is awesome, and his contributions will have a long-lasting positive impact on our community. As a recent transplant to Boulder, Aaron has already created deep relationships here in a short period of time due to his passion, vulnerability, and kindness. Discussions about diversity, equity, and inclusion can be challenging, but with a mindset of not only changing hearts, but also minds, Aaron is well on the way to helping Boulder become a place where all can thrive. Please welcome to the stage, Startup of the Year, Aaron Clark, Equity Solutions.
The year of 2020 will be marked by history as one of the most pivotal times in this generation. From the deaths of icons to marginalized communities like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Kobe Bryant, and Chadwick Boseman, to a global pandemic, to the murders of Breonna Taylor, Rayshard Brooks, George Floyd, and too many others, to a global racial reckoning, I truly believe our world will never be the same. I stand here today not for myself. I am merely a figurehead for this time. I stand here today for the 60-plus black businesses in this county who many of you didn't know existed less than a year ago, who have worked and fought for visibility for decades. Businesses like Katrina Miller, businesses like Shakita Yarbrough, folks like Annette James from the NAACP Boulder County, and folks like Norma Jones. I stand here today for the justice-involved folks in our community that are fighting for an opportunity. I stand here today for the young black and brown kids that one day will replace me in this fight for equity. More than 2 years ago, I began my journey towards Boulder. And through many conversations with allies like John and Karen and Matt and Tatiana, we began to dream about how we could make Boulder a more inclusive place. Many times, I got discouraged.
Many times I experienced racism here in our wonderful community. But what kept me going are many of the people that are here in this room today. Many people have been fighting for equity for so long that said, just keep going. We're not going to give up. I wish that we didn't have to have police brutality and murders and inequity to get to where we're at today. But when people ask me, what do I love about Boulder and this county, it's that we do have a give-first mentality, and we don't give up. And we do look for a better way. We do look for a way how we can make things a more inclusive and equitable community. So thank you to the people that have seen this vision, who have fought tirelessly alongside me. To John, Karen, Kate, and the rest of the chamber team and the board, thank you. To Matt Zweibel, Bing Chow, Harris Rollinger, Dave Mayer, Brad Feld, Rob Smith, Natty Zola, Wendy Lee, Deborah Brown, and many, many other people, thank you. To my wonderful team at Equity Solutions, to my community that is Justice Reskill, I say thank you. To my loving kids and my wonderful partner, Christine, thank you. Aaron out.
To present tonight's Special Impact Awards, please welcome back to the stage Boulder Chamber's President and CEO, John Taylor.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Me still the Magi. I'm back. And I would like to share with you this last miracle. And you know, a lot of people ask me, they say, hey, Misto, what is your favorite magic trick? Well, I'll tell you, it's the one I'm going to show you now. It's my favorite magic mystery in the whole world because it fools me. And I know how it's done. I call it the water mystery. So to begin, I would like to share with you this small miracle that comes all the way from the far-off springs of the Rocky Mountains. For the water that flows there is said to contain magic powers. Observe, as the water flows from the pitcher into the bottle in a never-ending stream of cold, clear, pure water. It is said that you can take a piece of paper, a card perhaps, place it over the mouth of the bottle, turning it upside down. The card will stick. This is due to the cosmic energy holding it up. It's the cosmic energy that holds it up. But if you believe in magic, it becomes no longer necessary. But wait, that's impossible. Oh no! Wait! If you believe in magic, anything is possible. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Misto the Magi, and good night.
To present tonight's Special Impact Awards, please welcome back to the stage Boulder Chamber's President and CEO, John Taylor.
All right, Misto, I'm going to just reveal all your secrets right now. Let's get this over. No, okay. All right, I don't have a clue. So we understand that we have all been through some remarkable times. And we also understand that to get through these times, we needed the innovation and collaboration that I described. So often we have the traditional Impact Award for the Boulder Chamber, which recognizes businesses, community leaders coming together to address a specific need or issue in our community. Well, didn't take a rocket scientist to think about what that need might be this year. We had a global pandemic on our hands. And this year, the Impact Award is appropriately unique. And in fact, we are recognizing 2 leadership groups as part of our Impact Acknowledgement for 2021. So the first group that we want to recognize is our Public Health Response Network. This is the network of our hospitals, our public health foundation, our institutions of public health that came together in a unified fashion. Organizations that were not always developed to be partners in such a way, to help us get through this pandemic from the public health perspective. They first helped us explain the situation that we're in. They prepared us to respond to the pandemic. They coached us in getting through these very difficult times and to keep ourselves safe appropriately. And they provided the best available treatment. So to tell us more about this public health network, I now turn to a video.
Greatest challenge that we faced this year was the response to COVID-19 and making sure that our community and residents were protected against this devastating virus.
And it affected everybody in our community. It affected our businesses. It affected people individually. It affected
Everyone. Everybody's been affected. I don't think there's anybody that has gone through this crisis and not been affected.
This required BCH to go into 24/7 planning mode. Every single individual, whether you're the CEO or whether an aide on one of our floors, was rethinking what their positions were going to be during this time and what they needed to do to provide the best treatment and care to the community.
And the only way to address it was to make sure that our public health authorities and our healthcare institutions work together collaboratively.
So we recognized really quickly, along with the Boulder Chamber of Commerce, that we needed to work together in order to be successful. There's no way that Boulder County Public Health could have accomplished getting the information out that was necessary without the support of the Boulder Chamber, who engaged other chambers and economic development councils. It was really that partnership that allowed us to reach businesses across multiple sectors, to provide information sessions, to gather feedback from businesses on what was working and what wasn't.
From the stay-at-home orders, it became very apparent that we needed to be clear in our communication with businesses and make sure they had an outlet to be able to ask questions. So the Boulder Chamber stepped up along with the Latino Chamber of Boulder County and Boulder County Public Health to create these series of webinars and opportunities for businesses to hear pretty regularly the updates to public health orders, to get communications and to ask questions.
The collaboration for BCH was really grounded in what was our greatest need that day and preparing to provide the best treatment and care to the community. At the very beginning, that was all about personal protective equipment. We went to CU Boulder, we went to manufacturers, we went to other organizations. We literally had individuals bringing us masks from their basements. So it was truly a barn-raising moment that the community came together at the beginning to help support us. Longer term, that collaboration led to how do we support our frontline providers? Out of that came a program called Feed the Frontlines Boulder. That was a unique program where you had tech entrepreneurs, you had over 25 restaurants, you had long-term philanthropists in our community that all came together to say, one, how can we help support our restaurants that are struggling? Two, how can we make sure we deliver meals to those that are really working the hardest on the front line right now?
What happened in my situation is one of the local CMOs from the large health systems reached out and said, we're getting a group together and we want to, learn from each other, work together, collaborate. And so what we started to do is recognize that as we all work together, we can learn, we can adjust, and we can develop plans together and be much more effective.
So thus far, we've had over 185 webinars in collaboration with Boulder County Public Health and had over 5,000 registrants. In addition, we've had 5,000 people watch the videos of these recordings. So we know there's a demand for the information, and we just know that we need to continue to provide it as changes happen.
When I think about the dozens of examples of impact that occurred during this time, it ranged from the individual who was sewing masks at their home and actually mobilized their friends to do the same. On the other end, it was a CU Boulder BioFrontiers who went far out of their way to make sure that we had incremental PPE and lab supplies, to the partnerships that we have with Boulder Chamber and Downtown Boulder Association to think through both from a social and economic point of view where they could be of greatest value during this time. Again, what truly made this a special moment for our community is the unique DNA of our community. It's the connectivity, it's the collaboration, it's the entrepreneurial spirit, it's the sense of possibility when you have a bold vision that you can truly accomplish it when you have the community behind you. And we had that in spades.
Is the importance of partnership. And it's not just partnership. It's specifically relationships that are so key to being successful to accomplish the outcome. We have to be able to have good relationships, to have hard conversations. So even when we don't agree, we understand where each other's coming from. That's what allows us to be able to move forward, to be able to address issues that are complex. And it doesn't matter if it's a pandemic, or if it's smoking, or substance abuse, or obesity. These are significantly complex issues in our community. And without these close partnerships, without the close relationships, we're not going to be successful at addressing these things. They're just too complex for a single organization to be able to achieve success on. And it takes all of us.
And so we're working together to tackle this Herculean feat to get everyone vaccinated, but I think we're doing a great job and we're really moving along. And I do want to say the community's been really supportive, including foundation grants and things to help us pay for these tremendous expenses. And it's just been really heartwarming to be a part of.
So partnership and innovation, and you heard it expressed here, and you see the results, lowest new cases in the metro region. And it would not be but for that collaboration, and we have a few representatives of those collaborators here with us today. Rob Visters, who's President and CEO of the Boulder Community Health, Grant Bessers, who's President of Boulder Community Health Foundation, Isaac Sendros, who's the CEO of Avista Adventist Hospital, and also representing one of the partners in the collaboration with the Public Health Response Network, Patrick Menzies with Boulder Medical Center. Thank you all. But to officially receive this award, it's a special honor to recognize and bring up to the stage a good friend and longtime partner, Jeff Zayak. And don't applaud yet, because I got some things to say about this man. So Jeff announced that after a 30-year career with Boulder County Public Health, he is going to be retiring at the end of this month. His career began, I was doing a little research, as the summer mosquito technician, which I think is pretty high bar for a first-time appointment. And through his career then, he served in food service inspection and public health area, air quality protection, and a variety of other positions within Boulder County Public Health, to then ultimately rise up to the executive director position in 2008. And I can only say that we were so fortunate that he was in that role at this very time. Because to know Jeff is to know what steady and thoughtful leadership he provides, not just in the public health arena, but just for our community at large. So I am just greatly honored at this moment in time to recognize the Public Health Network, a response network, which includes, and I'm just going to list it, Avista Adventist Hospital, Boulder Community Health, Boulder Community Health Foundation, Boulder County Public Health, and Longmont United Hospital, SCL Health, and UC Health. But to receive the award tonight, special honor to call to the stage Boulder County Public Health Executive Director Jeff Zayak.
I want to first thank the Chamber. This is a testament to our community. To have these kind of awards, to recognize people for this kind of work, is a testament to this community that we live in. We've heard multiple stories tonight, multiple comments tonight about how this disease has impacted people this year. And it's going to leave scars on all of us for a long time. There's no doubt about it. There is no way, as you heard me talk about in that video, that we could accomplish the difficult work that we all face this year without significant partnerships across our entire community with so many different partners. But I really would like each of our representatives from the hospitals that are here tonight to please stand up, because I want to share some data and just recognize the importance of what they've brought us to at this point. If you can all stand, please. So Boulder County right now is leading the metro area in terms of vaccinations. We have 66% of our 65 to 69 population vaccinated with at least one dose at this point, and we have 90% vaccinated with at least one dose in our 70 plus population. That's significant. That means that we're more protected, and the most vulnerable people in our community are more protected, and it's because of these partners and the ones that are not here tonight that we're able to do this. So I want to thank from the bottom of my heart all of you for being such steadfast partners, not just in this COVID response, but as long as I've been working in Boulder County Public Health. Thank you to all of you, and I'm honored to accept this award on your behalf.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you so much for the great support tonight. So, you know, there was a second category reflecting the dual crisis that we faced in our community, acknowledging that there was the third crisis of mental health impacts. But clearly, the impacts on our economy were the direct result of our response to a public health crisis. And so, when I called and said, you know, I think we've got a situation on our hand, I reached out to a few partners in our business community support network. And I said, gee, I think we maybe should get together and start thinking about how do we support our businesses through this challenging time. And you know what? Every single one of them showed up immediately that day at a time when we were all trying to figure out, like, what kind of distance do you keep? What are masks? I've not ever worn a mask. And, you know, cleaning up our desks, coming together for the very first time immediately to start working collaboratively as business support organizations in our community. And I will list them for you. The Boulder Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Boulder Small Business Development Center, the Community Foundation serving Boulder County, Boulder County's Economic Vitality Group, the City of Boulder's Economic Vitality Group, Downtown Boulder Partnership, the Latino Chamber, and the Boulder Chamber. From that very first day, we worked in the spirit of collaboration and innovation to first inform our businesses of the challenge we were facing and how they can help support their business and their workforce, to come up with the right creative responses to address the challenges that they had, the technical support, to find financial assistance for them, and to come up with a whole slew of crazy creative solutions, everything from whole new delivery services to piloting a gift card program. And all of that was only possible due to the collaboration of organizations that often can be siloed, but recognize we need to come together to address a challenge. So to learn more about that collaboration and the results, let's watch the video.
You know, again, we are so interdependent on so many factors, and it became really clear this year that we kind of, to the degree that we are able, need to drop our walls in terms of who we support and how we do that support.
Overnight, businesses didn't know what to do. They were terrified. They didn't know how to protect their employees. They didn't know how to protect their customers.
But I think the really big challenge was we just, at no point in this crisis did we understand what was coming.
But then we know the other consequence of COVID-19 were the economic challenges for our businesses, for the workforce. And so immediately, as we saw COVID-19 enter our community and force us to shut down much of our business activity, we brought together all of the local business support institutions.
The Boulder Business Response and Recovery Alliance was formed almost immediately when we went into this crisis, and it was a collaboration led in great part by the city's Community Vitality Department and Yvette Bowden and the Chamber.
We also brought in support from Congressman Negus's office. All of these groups came together with their leadership to think strategically about how can we best support our businesses during these difficult times.
Almost overnight, the 8 organizations came together. There was a flurry of emails and text messages and phone calls quickly to figure out how we could all come together. We wanted to be sure that in the urgency that we were connected, that we were aligned, that we were partnering, that we weren't having redundancies or duplication, and that we were all headed forward in the same direction.
With a lot of us all sitting around the same table saying, okay, everybody, what do we need to focus on? From there, we got really strategic about communications, about resource, about how do we support the community and how do we support, everybody in the community. It's the Boulder Business Recovery Alliance, but we understood, I think, as an alliance together, having everybody at the table really allowed us to, again, highlight and even amplify the collaborations needed, because in order for the business community to survive, we need the schools to survive. In order for the business community to thrive, we need the hospitals to be supported. In order for the business community to survive, we need employees to be housed.
One of the first things that happened is that Boulder Chamber started doing this weekly update with Boulder County Public Health. So in the interest of equity, it was only natural that there was a Spanish update as well. So the Latino Chamber partnered as well with Boulder County Public Health and we started this weekly Spanish COVID update.
And so as the city closed down and the country closed down and the world closed down, we all came together. We walked alongside them. We provided instructions for them. We provided resources. We provided signages for masks. And to assure people that they were following the highest health standards.
Having a really good collaborations with the Community Foundation and with the Chamber in ways that, though our partnerships have always been strong, our partnerships have become tactical. And, working with the city vigorously on the outdoor dining program and getting that ramped up before anybody else in the state happened because we were all at the same table. Though what we've done so far has been extraordinary, the opportunity for our future collaborations, I think, is even more tremendous.
So I think Chip did say it. I mean, the partnership that's developed through this collaboration, through the crisis, is what is going to sustain us now through the recovery and beyond. I want to acknowledge that two of those partners are here, Ricardo Cabrera with the Latino Chamber, and also Tatiana Hernandez with the Community Foundation serving Boulder County. But there's somebody special that I'm excited to call to the stage. And start to get a little a very good friend who took on a responsibility. She was the parks director, and then somehow got under her wing additionally economic vitality, which I think was a lower priority in the city at some point. And all of a sudden it became the focus of her life. And as soon as the first call that I made was to my friend Yvette Bowden, who has been a champion and a partner throughout this entire effort. So welcome to the stage, Yvette Bowden, Community Vitality Director.
That wasn't fair. It is so nice to be with you. It is so nice to serve you. I'm not going to repeat the list that John so ably put forward, but I am going to tell you a little bit and brag off of our community. I'm honored to represent the city tonight, but I'm honored to represent the city in partnership with you. Businesses that don't give up. And frankly, let a parks director from New York come to Boulder 7 years ago and start a new path. I'd never worked for a city government before. I have been a business person. I have run foundations and nonprofits, and I have never worked in a community like this. I stand with you, my partner. In addition to the organizations that John mentioned, I also want to give kudos and thanks to CU, Francis, Kim, Rich, and Brian, who, frankly, if we didn't live in this gorgeous college town, and we need to be with them now, and we need to know that they are our neighbors and our friends and our partners and critical to this local economy. To Governor Polis and his staff, I'm giving a shout out to our congressional representatives and a special shout out to Joe Grano, who took every one of my calls to make sure that Boulder was heard. We are not the biggest community, but we will be heard. And also, specifically to close to 1,000, way cut back, but still fighting for you, City of Boulder staff across at least 15 departments that stood up to be your partner and will be here tomorrow and the day after that, and for as long as we can, providing basic services. No one organization can address the economic challenges we have been through, or frankly, the ones ahead of us. Unlike some things, and I hope to get my shot soon. Can I talk to you? Okay. Amongst those things, no one organization can deal with an economy like this. It's going to take a while, but I'm confident. I'm hopeful. And I just want to brag off of some of this work, which, by the way, was done through this alliance partner. I think the last time we've actually all been in the room together was at that meeting, John. We've done all of this with our families in the background, as we also helped with homework and made meals and walked dogs, just like all of you. And so I'm so proud of our colleagues that provided the first safe shopping list for the city, 2 business impact surveys, the outdoor dining and licensure program that opened businesses. They never closed. They were able to get right back out there in less than 24 hours from that application. Thank you for the motivation, Dave and Dana. arts installations and signage to remind us all to wear our masks and wash our hands and take care of each other, and frankly, gave a couple dollars to the local artists that we need to help support and arts organizations to remind each other how to keep each other safe and support the work of our health partners. Over 1,000 webinars, Corinne's being modest. And thank you to the Latino Chamber and the Community Foundation for your partnership on all of that work. Free business counseling throughout this entire session for every individual business that needed help in figuring out how to fill out loan applications, how to translate their questions to make sure that they could fill them out and have the right documents on time. Thousands of new social media posts to remind everybody that we are safe and open and going to be here on the other side of this thing. Expert analysis from CU Research and the Boulder Economic Council. Small business grants and over $1 million of loans and grants in the past 12 months. 20 million marketing impressions. By the way, none of that content was developed before. And a lot of those models you're seeing in the ads are impacted workers that we were able, through this partnership, to pay to come in and sit for a shoot, so at least they had something to pay for dinner. To be this bold at this time is our absolute honor. To deliver over 9,000 meals, not counting the one that Dave delivers directly, and to make all of that home delivery possible, including to the students at BVSD that needed their meals delivered to their homes so they didn't have to come to the school to pick them up. Gift cards, I've learned something. If you pay Boulderites to shop, they will shop. They will sell out the gift cards in less than 2 days and then go spend the money in 2 weeks. It's a good goal. 3 different grant rounds for arts organizations and performing institutions. 31,000 PPP grants in Colorado. It's about 2% of the population in PPP loans, and thank you to all of the sponsors this evening and financial institutions that took John's call at 8 o'clock at night and asked if they would be available tomorrow and whether or not they had anybody to help in Spanish translation or any other language, because we have more and more languages, and I'm happy about that. The many, many things that happen, this is just a smattering, is a call to leadership, all of our leadership. But it's inspired by you. The 5-star program is open right now. You can still apply. And for those of you out there who want us to know you're open, give us a shout so we can tell the story. That you're keeping your doors open, that you're keeping people employed, that we are the basis of this economy, and we will come out of this stronger on the other side. I thank all of my colleagues, all of the people who tried to figure out how to convert the code of the city and the planning licensure process to something that could effectuate open in less than 24 hours. That we will stay there and be employed, and thank our primary employers and welcome them back to the office very, very soon. Nothing we do will be enough right now. There are next steps to take, and I look forward to setting them up with my good friend John. I am very, very thankful to my daughter who puts up with me, and I didn't help her with so much homework, y'all just don't know. But she's rocking it out, and I'm proud of her. The work is not over, but we are hopeful. This is a special call to leadership, and it's called collaboration. I thank you.
To present tonight's final award, the Franny Reich Lifetime Achievement Award, please welcome to the stage Ron Brambilla, consultant and professional, board director of the Latino Chamber of Boulder County.
What a pleasure and an honor to present this evening's final award, the Franny Reich Lifetime Achievement Award. This year's the Franny Reich is presented to a Latino community member, Peter Salas Jr., a consistent voice for the issues of diversity and inclusion, a mentor to countless young business professionals, and an advocate for positive change through 40 years of community engagement throughout the Boulder Valley. Franny Reich's national promotion of Boulder in the late 1940s, and his accomplishments in workforce and business development in the post-World War II Boulder earned him a nickname. He was called Mr. Chamber of Commerce. Pete Salas epitomizes the spirit of Franny Reich in both tenacity and perseverance, constantly moving like the Energizer Bunny, from meeting to meeting, from group to group, from person to person, working a room. He's also characteristic of the tortoise in Aesop's fable, The Tortoise and the Hare, where the power of persistence eventually triumphs. Pete is one of very few leaders in our Latino community who for 40 years has consistently showed up to claim a seat at the tables of influence and provide perspectives that otherwise would never have been considered. Pete has served as a director of the Boulder Chamber, as a liaison to the Boulder Chamber Economic Roundtable, was one of the originators of the Chamber's Minority Business Leadership Council, which was formed in, I think, the late 90s. And in between, he made time to serve on the Boulder Valley Board of Education for 2 terms. He ran for a seat in the Colorado State Legislature, was a 3-time candidate for Boulder County Commissioner. And it doesn't matter that he didn't win most of those elections. It matters that he ran. Pete walks his talk, and he energized through those efforts. He energized our people to participate in those very important processes. And more significant, one of the reasons Pete is being recognized tonight is that he was a founder of the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Boulder County. La Cámara de Comercio Latina del Condado de Boulder. They're both a mouthful to say in either language. Pete almost solely identified and organized an energetic group of young entrepreneurs and professionals who, with Pete's mentorship, have positioned the Latino Chamber to be a major contributor for Latino workforce participation and business development in the Boulder and St. Vrain valleys. And I urge you to keep an eye on this organization. The best is yet to come from these young business professionals, one who is here with us tonight. And we owe that thanks to Pete, who, in the spirit of Franny Reich, we can affectionately nickname Pete as Señor Latino Chamber of Commerce. And the best part of all my dear friend Pete has achieved is that he did it with the courage of kindness, of caring, of compassion and soul, with a big heart. Please join me in welcoming this year's Franny Reich Lifetime Achievement Award, Peter Salas Jr.
Thank you. Thank you. This is one of those few times where I really am at loss for words. I'm not an orator, and I got to tell you, I was impressed by the people who've come up here and shared this podium and talked about the uniqueness of their businesses and the contributions they've made. And I want to thank John and the Chamber. As some of you know, I served on the board of directors of the Chamber a couple of decades ago, and it's been an honor. I have to tell you, though, John called me, and I'm so used to getting calls where something's going on, at particular times, and John called, and he was really serious. He sounded very serious, and I was just waiting for the shoe to drop. Okay, what's happened? What do we need to deal with? And then he told me what it was about, and I didn't tell him, but my thought, I just was kind of a little stunned, and I thought, did we run out of people to give awards to, or I wasn't sure. And then it took me a few minutes, and I couldn't figure out really why I was going to be awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award. And my son, I have a 17-year-old at home who clued me, saying, well, they found out that you re-retired and figured you were old enough to get a lifetime award. And but I have to tell you, and I thank you, Ron, for your kind words. Ron and I go back a long way. He's one of my closest friends. We haven't always agreed on things, but he's always been there, and he's always had my back. So thank you very much, Ron. You're true. Gumps. I have to tell you, when I started my work a long time ago, and I've been at it for actually about 50 years. One of my inspirations was a wise, strong woman in my life told me during one of our discussions about where I might go as a youth, a young man, reminded me that regardless of where I wanted to go, that we had to keep in mind that we have a responsibility to each other. All of us do. And that if we are to assume that responsibility, we must be accountable to each other to take care of each other and hold everyone else accountable to that same standard and that same value. That's how I've approached my life. I haven't done it, I'm not a businessman. I haven't done a lot of that work, but as it was indicated, I believe in showing up. And I believe in making room at the table. And I always have to remind people when I get invited, and I have to tell you, I have been invited to serve on countless boards. I've served on many. I'm a little bit more selective these days, and actually I re-retired. But I always have to remind people who ask me to be on a board, I want to know why, and then I have to remind them to be careful what you wish for. Because I am reminded by a quote, and I'll paraphrase it, by Malcolm X, who said, I'm not going to sit at your table and watch you eat with nothing on my plate and call myself a diner. Being in America does not always make you an American. And it's this constant work that we have to do to remind one another that we have a responsibility to each other. And one of our major responsibilities is just to show up and to have a voice. And if there's some resistance, to demand a voice. And sometimes it's not pretty, and sometimes I've not been the most popular person in the room, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me at all. I've lived through a few other little trials and tribulations. So, but I can't let this go without again expressing my appreciation to the rest of the award winners who are doing this great work. And I just, at some level, I envy that determination and drive, and the struggles that some of you have been through. And again, I didn't have a prepared speech. I don't usually do that. I've tried that on occasion. It doesn't work very well for me. But again, I owe so much to so many other people. I have to remind people that I don't go through this world alone. These committees and other people I work with. I had the pleasure of the last year and a half, 2 years working with the Latino Chamber of Commerce, and I have to tell you that there are people like Ricardo here, others are a great group of people. I see great things happening for them, and it's more important now than ever because what I've learned in my entire career, I started as as a not very good community organizer about almost 50 years ago. But what I've learned, and I've done a lot of nonprofit human service work, and what I've learned is that if we want to lift our community, we have to create wealth in our community. And in order to do that, we have to nurture the entrepreneurship that exists within our community. You know, I estimate, and Ron probably correct me, that there are probably 3,000 or plus Latino businesses in Boulder County. It's the fastest growing segment of the business community and deserves all the support we can get. And I have to be honest with you, we have not gotten all that support. And it's constant trial to convince people that we need that support. So I encourage all my friends. I have a network of people that I keep in contact with to support our businesses at every level, to support small businesses, and to make sure that you support our Latino, Chicano businesses, because they are the lifeblood and they are the future of our community. And again, I can't thank you all enough. I've worked with so many good people, and lastly, when I was asked, I started thinking of several other people that I think should be up here, and who I hope one day get the recognition that they deserve. And they are part of an invisible cadre of people that work in our community that you don't see, are there, and they are the underpinnings of this community. So if you haven't had an opportunity to reach out to some of the folks that don't look like you and don't run in your circles, please, stretch a little bit and get out there and see some folks. Thank you all. It's humbling and more than just a little bit embarrassing to have received the award, but I appreciate it so much. Thank you, John. I've known John a long time. Y'all are great, and I just appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Okay, it's been an awesome evening when the woman who produced it, Maya Cordero, our programs and events director, tells you that you're running behind, you better hurry up. So I'm going to hurry up here. But I'm going to say this. First of all, Viva Pete. Viva Pete. Beautiful, your words. And it's been just a power. You saw the emotion at all of us. I just know that in this room, and I'm hoping it was conveyed to all of you out there who had the opportunity to watch it on the computer tonight, what a powerful opportunity it is for the Boulder Chamber to have the opportunity to honor these individuals, these business leaders in our community, the folks who, as we say, are not just lifting our businesses and supporting our economy, but are strengthening our community. Fabulous, fabulous individuals, all of them, and it's just a great pleasure to have had them join us tonight and to be recognized for their achievements. So I'm just going to end with that. This is a celebration, but I'm going to start blubbering again, so I'm just going to cut it off at that and recognize a few people, and just to make sure that we pay proper tribute to the folks who helped bring this event together. So first of all, for tonight, just make sure that we thank all the presenters. You folks did an amazing job introducing our award winners, and all of you kept the secret, which was fascinating. So that's the amazing thing. So thank you to our presenters. We also thank our wonderful sponsors who are listed in the program. Remember, these are the folks that support programs like this, but really the work and mission of the Boulder Chamber. I also want to make sure to thank Misto the Magi, who shocked us with his magic tricks and made it a truly magical evening. And then I also want to thank our wonderful MC behind the mic, Josh. Thank you so much. I don't know where you get that deep voice, but it's just perfect for the role. And then also, really special shout out to the Hotel Boulderado. These folks, this is their first event. This is their first attempt to come back under these conditions, and they knew the public health director was going to be here, okay? So they worked very hard, and they did an amazing job. So please give them a round of applause. And then I just want to acknowledge again that the folks who were our top sponsors. First of all, presenting sponsor, the great team at FNBO. Thank you so much. And then our gold sponsor, represented by a man over there at Elevations, Dennis, thank you so much. And with that, we'll close out the evening, but just thank you all, our audience here, who all just complied with the regulations so dutifully, but it's just so wonderful to see you in 3 dimensions. And then I look forward to seeing all of you in the audience at an event in the near future. So thank you all. Be safe, be healthy, and let's have some fun as spring and summer and the light at the end of the tunnel starts to appear a little brighter. Take care, everybody.